The fastest way to kill a plan is to talk about it. You sit at a table, coffee cooling, phone face down. You tell someone what you're about to do, a new role, a new body, a new exit. They nod, they smile, they offer advice you didn't ask for. In that moment, something leaks. Not motivation, power. Here is the diagnosis. When you announce your goals, you convert action into theater. You trade leverage for approval. Your brain mistakes being seen for being done. Dopamine fires early. The hunger fades, and worse, you invite interference, doubt, envy, sabotage disguised as concern. Look closer at the machinery. Humans are not neutral observers. They are incentives wrapped in skin. Some want to feel superior. Some want to feel safe. Some want you to stay where you are so they don't have to move. When you reveal a plan, you hand them a map. They may not attack today, but they store it. Screenshots, memories, casual comments that become pressure later. Your private intention becomes public property. Machiavelli understood this. A prince who reveals his design invites a siege before the walls are finished. Appearance is for the many. Reality is for the few. The fox hides the trail. The lion shows strength only when it is irreversible. Timing is the weapon. By the end of this video, your posture will change. You will stop narrating your life. You will separate motion from noise. You will learn how to build in the dark without becoming isolated, and how to let results speak without explaining the method. Your plans will become invisible, your outcomes unavoidable. This is not advice you can unlearn. Once you see how speech drains leverage, you cannot go back to casual confession. Silence will stop feeling empty. It will feel loaded. Let us begin. You think talking makes things real? It doesn't. It makes them fragile. Watch what happens the moment you tell someone your plan. You feel lighter, calmer, as if progress already happened. That relief is not confidence. It is sedation. You just spent future energy in advance. This is the entry wound. People announce goals because uncertainty hurts. Silence feels like risk. Saying it out loud feels like commitment. But psychologically, it does the opposite. It closes the loop too early. Here is the mechanism. Your brain does not clearly separate doing from declaring. When you state an intention and receive acknowledgement, even a nod, even a nice, the reward system fires. Dopamine, the same chemical you get from progress. The body relaxes, the urgency drops, the edge dulls. You didn't build anything, but your nervous system thinks you did. Now layer the social cost. The moment a goal leaves your mouth, it enters a market. Opinions attach to it, expectations form, timelines get suggested. You are no longer free to move quietly. Every delay now looks like failure. Every pivot needs explanation. You have placed yourself under observation before you have leverage. This is why unfinished people love to talk. They live on borrowed completion. They announce diets, businesses, exits, reinventions, loud starts, quiet endings. The herd applauds the announcement and forgets the collapse. But the person remembers. Shame accumulates. Identity weakens. Machiavelli would call this a failure of timing. A prince does not declare war before the army is fed. He does not reveal a route before the gates are breached. He understands that intention exposed too early invites resistance. Resistance doesn't always look like attack. Often, it wears a friendly mask. Advice, caution, stories about someone who tried and failed. Just be careful. These comments feel harmless. They are not. They seed doubt. They slow momentum. They force you to defend a future that does not yet exist. There is also envy, quiet, unspoken, corrosive. When you announce a move upward, you remind others of their stagnation. Some will smile and later undermine. Some will test your resolve. Some will hope you fail so the hierarchy stays intact. None of this is personal, it is biological. Status is a zero-sum perception. The strategic error is thinking honesty equals virtue. In power calculus, honesty without timing is exposure. You do not owe the world a preview of your architecture. Consider a simple scene. Two colleagues want the same advancement. One speaks about ambition, vision, plans. The other stays vague, executes quietly, documents results. When the decision comes, one has stories, the other has proof. Proof does not argue. Proof ends conversations. Silence creates asymmetry. While others talk, you observe. While they speculate, you build. You gather information without giving any back. This is leverage. Leverage means you can act without asking permission and without resistance until it is too late to stop you. People misunderstand this as secrecy born of fear. It is not fear, it is discipline. A fortress does not announce weak points. A surgeon does not narrate every incision to the patient. Focus requires insulation. There is a rule you must install. Speech has a cost. If words do not move a piece on the board, they are waste. Worse, they are signal leakage. Each unnecessary disclosure tells others what you want, what you lack, what you are reaching for. The cost of ignoring this is predictable. You become managed. Your goals become social property. You start performing consistency instead of pursuing outcomes. You hesitate to change course because people are watching. You stay small to avoid explaining why you changed. The long game demands invisibility early and inevitability later. You do not announce a transformation. You arrive as one. Hold this pressure. Let the silence itch. That discomfort is power accumulating. Silence does more than protect your plan. It reshapes how others read you. When you stop explaining yourself, people fill the gap. Humans hate blanks. They project meaning into quiet the way water finds cracks. This is not mysticism. It is a pattern you can use. Here is the mechanism. Most status games rely on narrative control. Whoever explains first accepts the lower position. They are answering, defending, performing clarity. The one who withholds becomes the reference point. Others adjust around them. When you speak less about your intentions, your image hardens, not because you became mysterious, but because you removed contradictions. Words create promises. Promises create timelines. Timelines create failure points. Silence removes all three. Machiavelli framed this as appearance versus reality. The prince allows others to see what serves order, not what satisfies curiosity. Curiosity is not innocent. It is surveillance with a smile. Watch how people react when you stop sharing. They ask more questions. What are you working on? What's next? You'll feel the urge to reassure, to say something harmless. Resist it. Every detail is a thread. Threads get pulled. The tactic is not to be rude. It is to be dull. Boring answers protect sharp plans. Busy. Same things. We'll see. These phrases end probes without creating tension. They deny access without declaring war. This does something subtle. It flips the pressure. The interrogator now carries the discomfort. They expected data. They got fog. Their mind starts to work. They speculate. They guess. Often they guess wrong. Wrong assumptions are a shield. Underestimation is the safest cloak. When people think they understand you, they stop watching closely. When they think you are average, they leave you alone. This is the fox's advantage. The lion waits until strength is undeniable. The fox moves while unseen. There is also a timing advantage. Silence allows you to change your mind without penalty. Most plans should die before execution. Talking about them makes you emotionally invested in a draft. Quiet lets you discard bad ideas without social cost. Look at leaders who last. They are not verbose about vision in private. They speak in results. In public, they are measured. In private, they are unreadable. Their teams do not know every doubt, every pivot, every contingency. That ignorance keeps the structure stable. Contrast this with the oversharer. They narrate stress, they narrate struggle, they narrate ambition. Their reputation becomes volatility. Even when competent, they look unstable. People trust outcomes, not emotions. This applies beyond work, relationships, family, friends. The moment you announce a boundary in advance, you invite negotiation. The moment you announce a change, you invite debate. Silence lets action set the frame. "I'm not available anymore" is stronger when it is already true. The mistake is thinking silence is passive. It is not. It is active denial of access. Access is the currency of influence. When everyone has access to your intentions, they can price you. When access is rare, value rises. There is a discipline here. You must tolerate being misunderstood. People will invent stories. Let them. Correcting every false assumption is weakness. You are not here to manage their comfort. Machiavelli warned against half measures. If you choose silence, choose it cleanly. Do not hint, do not tease. Teasing invites pursuit. Flatness ends it. Mystery is not drama. Mystery is absence. A small example. You are preparing an exit. New role, new city, new structure. If you announce it early, every interaction becomes about that future. You stop being effective in the present. You drift. If you stay silent, you remain anchored. When the move happens, it looks decisive, not desperate. The consequence of mastery here is compounding advantage. People stop asking. They adjust to your opacity. You become harder to read, harder to influence, harder to obstruct. Your reputation shifts from expressive to solid. Silence is not about hiding forever. It is about controlling the reveal. When you finally speak, it is after the gate has closed and the bridge has lifted. The statement lands because it describes reality, not hope. Hold the line. The fog is working even when you feel nothing. There is a moment when silence becomes dangerous if you use it wrong, not because others will punish you, but because you will confuse restraint with fear. This chapter is about calibration. Keeping plans invisible is not withdrawal, it is containment. If you disappear completely, you lose position. If you speak too much, you lose leverage. The prince stays present without revealing the map. Here is the mechanism. Power is not built in isolation. It is built in proximity with controlled access. You must be seen acting, not seen intending. Activity without explanation is the correct signal. Most people make the same error. They hear, "move in silence," and vanish. No updates, no presence, no contribution. They think invisibility equals strategy. It does not. It equals absence. Absence invites replacement. Machiavelli never advised the prince to hide in the countryside. He advised him to conceal design while managing appearance. The court must see stability. The machinery must run. Only the blueprint stays locked. So what does this look like in practice? You show up on time. You execute your role cleanly. You deliver what is asked. You do not narrate ambition. You do not hint at exits. You do not complain. Your behavior is consistent. Your intent is unreadable. This creates a paradox. People feel you are reliable, but cannot predict you. Reliability builds trust. Unpredictability prevents manipulation. Together, they form authority. Now consider the opposite. Someone who talks about goals but delivers inconsistently. They look aspirational and weak at the same time. Their words raise expectations their actions cannot meet. Respect erodes. The tactic embedded here is separation. Separate performance from aspiration. Performance is public, aspiration is private. Performance earns space, aspiration uses it. There is also a social defense element. When you keep plans invisible, you reduce unsolicited obligations. Announced goals attract requests, advice, introductions, opinions. Each one steals time and attention. Silence preserves focus, but silence must be paired with progress markers that are impersonal. Deadlines met, metrics improved, work shipped. These signals travel without your help. Others talk about them for you. That is safer. A short case, two operators in the same environment. One speaks openly about building something new. The other says nothing and starts reallocating effort quietly. 6 months later, one is still discussing. The other is already out. No drama, no negotiation. The exit was a fact, not an argument. This is the consequence of timing. Announcements invite counterplay. Completed moves do not. There is a final psychological trap to avoid: pride in secrecy. The moment you enjoy hiding more than building, you have inverted the strategy. Silence is not identity, it is a tool. The goal is not to be mysterious. The goal is to be effective. You will know you are doing this right when people stop asking and start adjusting. Meetings change tone. Requests become more precise. Your time is treated as scarce without you declaring it so. This is reputation economics at work. If someone presses harder, escalate boredom, not defense. Defense signals value, boredom signals disinterest. Disinterest closes loops faster than confrontation. And when the time comes to reveal, do it once, briefly, without story. This is done. This is the next step. No origin tale, no struggle narrative. Explanations invite audit. Statements establish fact. The cost of ignoring this calibration is subtle decay. You become invisible in the wrong way, forgotten, excluded. Strategy requires tension, not retreat. Hold presence, withhold intention. That is the balance. In the long game, those who master this are not louder or faster. They are simply harder to stop. There is one final reason silence works, and it is the most uncomfortable. It forces you to rely on yourself. When you stop telling people your plans, you lose a drug, validation, encouragement, the small nods that say you are allowed to proceed. Most people do not realize how dependent they are on this permission until it is gone. This is the hidden mechanism. Talking about goals is not just communication, it is outsourcing conviction. You speak so someone else can reflect belief back to you. When they do, you feel authorized. When they doubt, you hesitate. Silence removes the mirror. Now your plan must survive without applause, without reassurance, without an audience. This is where most people fail, not because the plan was wrong, but because their spine was borrowed. Machiavelli would call this sovereignty. A prince who needs approval is not a ruler, he is a delegate. The moment your confidence depends on consensus, your direction is no longer yours. This is why invisibility feels heavy at first. You are carrying the weight alone. No one knows what you are building. No one is impressed. No one is invested. Good. That pressure is not a flaw. It is the forge. When you act without witnesses, you remove performance from the equation. There is no image to protect, no story to maintain, only execution. This simplifies decisions. You stop asking, "How will this look?" and start asking, "Does this work?" That shift is lethal to distraction. There is also a moral advantage. When plans are private, ethics sharpen. You are not tempted to overpromise. You are not trapped by public declarations that force bad follow-through. You can abort cleanly. You can pivot without lying. Silence keeps your word intact by keeping it unspoken. Observe how fragile loud ambition is. The moment reality resists, excuses appear. The person must explain delays. They soften goals. They rationalize compromise. Their identity is now tied to statements they cannot uphold. Quiet operators avoid this trap entirely. Another consequence appears over time. You become harder to manipulate emotionally. Guilt works best on those who announce intention. "I thought you said you wanted this." You told everyone you were committed. These phrases only work if you gave them the weapon. When you keep plans invisible, pressure has nothing to grab. This does not make you cold, it makes you precise. You can still be present, still be cooperative, still be human, but your inner trajectory is not up for group editing. There is a specific posture you must adopt: calm, brief, non-reactive. When asked directly about the future, you do not lie. You also do not elaborate. I'm focused on what's in front of me. This is true and sufficient. People who push past this boundary are revealing something: anxiety, control, curiosity without cost. You do not need to satisfy it. Over months, something changes. Your internal dialogue becomes quieter. Decisions come faster. You trust yourself more because you have evidence, not praise. You acted, you adjusted. You survived without witnesses. This is the internal fortress Machiavelli admired. A ruler who can sit alone with his thoughts without collapsing into doubt is not easily overthrown. The final error to avoid is absolutism. You do not tell no one anything, ever. You tell the right things to the right people at the right time. Counsel is selective, earned, strategic. One or two allies who have proven discretion, competence, and alignment, that is all. Everyone else gets the surface, the weather, the present task, the finished result. The cost of ignoring this lesson is dependency. You become loud because silence scares you. You become predictable because you need feedback. You become stalled because every move requires consensus. The benefit of mastering it is quiet momentum. Days stack, work compounds, moves land without friction. When the world notices, it is already late. This is not secrecy for drama. It is discipline for dominance. Keep your plans invisible until they no longer need protection. There is a point where invisibility turns into inevitability. This is where most people panic and break the rule. Progress accumulates quietly, skill sharpens, position improves, and then something changes in the environment. People notice results they cannot trace. Curiosity spikes, pressure returns. This is the danger zone. Here is the mechanism. When outcomes appear without a visible process, the herd feels threatened. They cannot map how you moved. They cannot replicate it. Uncertainty creates anxiety, and anxiety seeks resolution through questions. What are you doing differently? How did this happen? What's your next move? These questions are not admiration, they are reconnaissance. If you answer too early, you reset the board. You turn a finished advantage into an open system others can study, imitate, or obstruct. This is where discipline matters most. Machiavelli warned that power is lost not when gained, but when explained. The prince who justifies success teaches rivals how to compete. The prince who remains opaque forces them to guess. The tactic here is delayed revelation. You allow outcomes to speak long before you allow methods to be known. And even then, you never reveal the full sequence. You give a simplified narrative that protects the core mechanism. Think of it as a mask. The public story is clean, modest, incomplete, right timing, good team, consistent work. These phrases satisfy curiosity without giving leverage. They are true, but not useful. What you never share is sequence. Order matters more than components. Knowing the steps in the wrong order is useless. Keep that order private. There is also a status inversion at this stage. Early on, silence makes you underestimated. Later, silence makes you respected. People stop pushing because they sense there is depth they cannot access. Access denial signals power. Watch how questions change tone. They become careful, indirect. People test with hypotheticals instead of direct probes. This is not accidental. They are trying to read boundaries. Your response remains the same. Calm, short, non-committal. You do not reward persistence. You do not punish curiosity. You simply remain unavailable. This has a side effect. People project competence onto you. They assume planning where there may only be discipline. They assume strategy where there may only be restraint. Let them. Projection works in your favor. The mistake here is ego. Wanting credit, wanting recognition for cleverness, wanting to be seen as the architect. This urge has ended more long games than failure ever did. Credit invites comparison. Comparison invites competition. Competition invites interference. Machiavelli understood reputation economics. A prince wants to be seen as capable, not copied, revered, not decoded. There is also a defensive benefit. When you do not reveal plans, you retain plausible deniability. If circumstances shift, you adapt without being accused of inconsistency. Loud planners are trapped by their own words. Quiet operators move freely. At this stage, you may feel isolated. Others are discussing futures you are already living. Resist the urge to join the conversation. Conversations are cheap. Position is not. A useful mental frame here is finality. You speak only about what is finished, never about what is forming, never about what is vulnerable. If it can still be damaged, it does not exist publicly. This applies to relationships, negotiations, exits, expansions. Announcing intent invites veto. Executing quietly removes it. The cost of breaking silence late is higher than breaking it early. Early talk kills motivation. Late talk kills advantage. If you fail here, you will feel it immediately. Momentum slows, resistance increases, eyes appear where there were none. You will think the world turned hostile. It didn't. You just turned visible too soon. If you hold, something else happens. People stop trying to follow your moves and start reacting to them. Reaction means you are leading, you are setting tempo without broadcasting rhythm. This is the end state. Not secrecy for its own sake, but strategic quiet until outcomes are irreversible. At that point, you can speak. But when you do, it is not to explain, it is to declare. And declarations do not ask permission. There is a final layer beneath silence that few people understand. It is not about hiding from others. It is about protecting yourself from your own mouth. Most strategic failures are self-inflicted, not through bad planning, but through premature relief. Talking feels like progress because it releases pressure. Silence keeps pressure contained. Pressure is fuel. Here is the mechanism. Ambition creates internal tension. That tension is uncomfortable. The nervous system looks for discharge. Speech is the fastest release valve. You tell someone your plan, and the pressure drops. The edge goes blunt. What you mistake for clarity is actually decompression. The disciplined operator does the opposite. He preserves tension. He lets the discomfort stay. He does not soothe himself with conversation. That stored pressure converts into focus, patience, and endurance. Machiavelli played the long game because he understood human weakness. Men prefer immediate relief over delayed dominance. They would rather feel good now than be strong later. Silence denies that weakness its outlet. This is why keeping plans invisible feels heavy. You are carrying unspent energy. That energy has nowhere to go but into work. If you ignore this and keep talking, a predictable decay sets in. You begin to optimize for reaction instead of outcome. You check how people respond. You adjust your plan to sound better. You drift from effectiveness toward approval. Over time, you become expressive but inert, opinionated but unchanged. Everyone knows what you want. No one sees you moving. This is the cost of leakage. There is also a subtler danger. When others know your plans, they anchor you to an identity. You're the one who's doing X. Identities are sticky. When reality shifts, you hesitate to adapt because adaptation looks like contradiction. Silence preserves flexibility. The prince who survives is not the most consistent in speech, but the most consistent in results. Another cost appears in conflict. When intentions are known, enemies can form before action. Opposition organizes early, resistance hardens. But when movement is quiet, resistance reacts late and fragmented. Late resistance loses. This is why sudden success looks like luck to outsiders. It wasn't luck, it was protected development. Now, understand the architectural principle. You operate in phases. Phase 1 is incubation. No witnesses. High friction, high doubt, maximum silence. Phase 2 is execution. Visible action. No commentary. Let activity be seen without explanation. Phase 3 is consolidation. Outcomes are undeniable. Position stabilizes. Only then is limited narrative allowed, and only in ways that reinforce authority without exposing method. Most people collapse all three phases into one loud blur. They announce incubation, narrate execution, and explain failure. They never reach consolidation. Machiavelli would call this a failure of order. Order requires sequence. Sequence requires discipline. There is one more test you must pass. Success without applause. When something works and no one knows you did it, your ego will itch. It will want recognition. This is the last trap. If you need to be seen, you will eventually expose yourself. If you can let success compound quietly, you become dangerous. Dangerous does not mean aggressive. It means difficult to predict, hard to block, expensive to challenge. At this level, silence becomes natural. You stop wanting to explain. You stop needing agreement. You trust your internal compass because it has proven itself through action, not affirmation. People around you will still talk. They will share. They will speculate. Let them. Noise is camouflage. While they are busy narrating their intentions, you are finishing yours. The long-term consequence of mastering this is simple. You gain control over timing, and timing is power. Say less, build more, reveal late. This is how plans stop being dreams and start becoming facts. You came here thinking this was about secrecy. It isn't. It's about sovereignty. When you stop telling people your goals, you stop asking for permission to become who you are. You cut the feedback loop that weakens intent. You remove the audience that turns effort into performance. What replaces it is quiet momentum. Look at the difference now. You are no longer a narrator of plans. You are an architect of outcomes. Your silence is no longer empty. It is loaded. It holds pressure, timing, and choice. This is the irreversible shift. Once you feel how much energy returns when you stop explaining yourself, you cannot go back. You will hear others talk about what they are about to do, and you will recognize it for what it is: a leak, a sedative, a delay. But there is a warning. Do not let silence inflate your ego. The long game punishes arrogance faster than noise. Stay cold, stay patient, build without witnesses, reveal only when resistance no longer matters. Machiavelli understood this better than most. Power is not taken by announcement. It is secured by sequence. The fox hides. The lion arrives when escape is impossible. If this sharpened your posture, understand something. This is only the outer layer. There are things that cannot be said publicly. Patterns of influence, timing, and countermoves that only work when they remain unseen. If you want to go deeper, you know what to do. Subscribe if you haven't. And for those who understand why some knowledge must stay off the main road, there is a private gate to becoming a true Machiavellian. Until then, say less. Build more. Let them notice too late.